Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over all the trophies and the platinum and 100% in The Last of Us Part 2. So if you've been keeping up with the channel, you would know that just like Last of Us Part 1, I have made a series on the Part 2 as well, playing through the game where I've gotten every single trophy, got the platinum, and then I also went for the DLC to get the 100%. So yeah, go check out that playthrough if you want to see, you know, every single part of the game and the story and me going through each trophy and explaining myself a bit more in depth instead of just this summary video. And also go check out Part 1 if you haven't already. I think Part 1 and Part 2 are both brilliant games, so check them both out. But of course, we are here today to focus on the second game, Last of Us Part 2, so let's get into that. So the main premise of this game is that obviously it follows Part 1, it's 5 years later, and the characters, Ellie and Joel, pretty much deal with the consequences of the choices from the first game. I'll get into more depth on the story elements as we get through the video and looking at the trophies as well, so stay tuned to that, but I'm sure most of you already know the story for this game, as it is quite controversial, so yeah, just be prepared if you don't know the story. So now in terms of trophies, there are 26 in the base game to get the platinum. There is 2 in the DLC Pack 1 for grounded mode, which means in total there's 28 trophies. So that is to get the 100%, we need all 28 trophies. The trophies are very similar to Last of Us Part 1, which makes sense considering the Part 1 I played, the remake, came out after this game, so they pretty much copied the trophies from this game into that game. So they're very similar, they're slightly harder than Part 1 though, as again you need to find all the collectibles, and there's a few miscellaneous as well that you have to do, but also this time we do have to fully upgrade our player, and then also upgrade all the weapons as well, which we did not have to do in Part 1, we only had to do one player upgrade branch and one weapon fully upgraded, whereas yeah, this time we're gonna have to do every single one, so it does require a new game plus playthrough, and that is why we also combine that with the 100% trophies, which is for doing a grounded playthrough and a permadeath playthrough, so it makes it a lot easier doing that on New Game Plus, and yeah, we can finish off the platinum whilst doing that, so killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Killing 2 stones with 1 bird. And
here is what PSN Profiles puts the difficulty as, which is a 3 out of 10, takes 2 playthroughs and 35 hours, that is to complete the base game, and then adding on the DLC, that is a 4 out of 10, only takes 1 playthrough and adds on an extra 10 hours as well. So to start off with, when I first started playing this game, my first step was to beat the game whilst getting all the collectibles and getting as many materials and supplements as possible to get as many upgrades, then it would be easier on the second playthrough. So, and also do the miscellaneous trophies as well. So stage 1 is pretty much do everything. Complete the story whilst completing everything else in it, collectibles, miscellaneous, you name it. So with stage 1 in mind, let's get into the trophies. Alright, to start our journey off, we start on the home main screen, and we have to choose the difficulty for the game, and I ended up just going with the moderate difficulty, so the medium one, as later on, when we go for the 100%, I'm going to combine the grounded playthrough with New Game Plus anyway, and permadeath, so make it even harder on myself. Woo! So to start the game off, we get a little cinematic and flashbacks of the first game and its events, which I'm sure most people by now know the story. So Joel is actually the one telling this story, or what happened in the first game, to Tommy, so he's finally told someone else exactly what happened, but after that they make their way back to Jackson, and this kind of sets up the events of the game. Once he also gets back to Jackson, there's a nice little scene with Joel actually teaching Ellie how to play the guitar like he promised her in the first game. But shortly after that, we fast forward 4 years, well later, or 4 years forward into the present. So here we find out that Ellie's all grown up now, and she's living in Jackson still, and she's going on patrols and helping around the town, But yeah, mainly going on patrols to keep all the infected out, and we also get introduced to a new character called Jesse. So Jesse lets Ellie know that it's time to go on patrol. So we go meet up with another new character, Dina, who is going to be very important in this story, and we go on patrol to kill some infected. Before that happens though, we are cut to a different scene where we're introduced to some more new characters, with two of them being Abby and Owen, and at this point in the story we really have no idea what they're doing except for the fact that they're looking for someone nearby in Jackson perhaps. Owen believes it's too dangerous and the others won't agree to continue on as there seems to be too many people in Jackson and they don't want to get attacked or killed, so he wants to just leave. But Abby pushes on and continues her way to the lodge to try and see if she can find some more information out. So she makes her way through a large area with a few infected and whatnot, and she comes across some horse tracks, which we're not sure whose they are. Maybe they're Ellie's and Dina's, maybe they're someone else. But anyway, we do actually cut back to Ellie and Dina, who are on a horse, and they're getting ready for their patrol. So they end up doing their usual patrol stuff, marking down where they've been, saying that they've cleared everything out, until they get to a point where they find a deer that has been killed clearly by some infected, which they can hear from inside a grocery store, so they go in there to clear them out. So they slowly but surely make their way through the buildings surrounding the grocery store as they try and look for a way in it, and along the way we actually get our first trophy of the game. Ooh, heaps of supplies in here. Oh, now we can upgrade listen mode movement speed. Move faster in listen mode. Oh, nice. Ooh, Apprentice. Learn a player upgrade. Let's go. I think that's our first trophy of the game. Let's go. Learn a player upgrade. Well, we're gonna have to max all these out anyway, so that's just a prerequisite trophy, really. Alright, let's keep going. So yeah, as you saw, that was actually our first safe we got as well, which we're gonna have to find all of those. But we actually got the trophy for upgrading our player for the first time, or getting a player upgrade. And yeah, like I said, it was going to be a prerequisite trophy as we do have to upgrade everything by the end of the game. So if you're going for the Platinum or 100%, you're going to get that trophy no matter what. Now continuing on, they clear out the grocery store and then they go back outside to continue forward, and they actually kind of get stuck in a blizzard and they kind of lose where each other are. But eventually we luckily catch back up with Dina, but we need to find somewhere to hold out until the storm is over. Luckily they find an old library to hunker down in, and this is actually where we get our second trophy of the game. Here we go, now we got the workbench. What should we upgrade? Or we can inspect the weapon, cool. What about this weapon? Damn, this is sick. Alright, let's do the pistol. Let's see, what's the cheapest? Recoil, sure. Tinkerer, let's go. Upgrade a weapon. That is our second trophy of the game. We're going to have to, just like the supplements, we're going to have to fully upgrade all the weapons anyway, so that's a prerequisite trophy pretty much as well. So moving on, as they explore more of the library, they find out that another patrol member from Jackson used to hunker down here called Eugene, and he has his own little secret basement where he does some crazy stuff, to say the least, and Ellie and Dina decide to get involved as well. We then quickly cut back to Abby, who is still following the tracks from before. She follows the tracks, she comes across some infected, which then turns into even more infected, and more until there's a massive horde chasing after her, and she's literally about to die when someone comes and saves her.
We're gonna have to run! Come on, I'll cover you! Let's go! Come on, this way!
So after getting saved by Joel and Tommy, they fight their way through the horde to escape on horseback, and Abby suggests that they go back to her place where all her friends are, as that is safe there, and they can hold out until the blizzard's done there. We then cut back to Ellie and Dina just after they've had the good fun time together, and then Jesse comes down, and it's a bit awkward, but then he reveals that Joel and Tommy are nowhere to be seen. So then start panicking. We're like, what's going on? So then we need to get back to what Tommy and Joel, what's happening with them. So we cut back to Joel, Tommy and Abby arriving back at the place where all Abby's friends are staying, and they welcome him in, fighting off all the infected. However, once we get inside, things seem to be a bit suspicious, not sure what's going on, and this is where probably the most controversial thing in this game occurs, which is why lots of people hate this game. And I don't know, I don't mind it, but I can definitely see why people would have been put off by this game pretty much straight away, because this is only like 3 hours into the game.
Yeah. Joel Miller.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with. God damn it!
Clear out. Stupid old man. You don't get to rush this.
So after that dramatic turn of events, we then play as Ellie as she rushes to try and save Joel. She gets to the house and things go even worse.
Pin her down!
Get off me!
Get her hand!
Get the fuck off me!
Bitch! You got her! Look, you got her! Okay?
You're gonna fucking die!
What's going on?
Let him go! Who is that? Let him
She
go!
snuck in.
Why aren't you posted up outside?
We didn't think anyone was gonna show up.
What the hell did you expect? We gotta get out of here before the whole town's on top of us. You're done.
You want what I want, right?
End it. Now.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up. Please stop. Please don't shoot. Joel, please get up. No!
Oh my... What the hell? Oh my god. That was...
Ellie.
And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave the video there. I'm not going to continue on because I can't believe they just did that. So I'll see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Did I get you? Okay, no, I obviously didn't. Probably not. Because you can see that this video has still got a while to go. So, of course, we're going to keep on going. We've only got 2 trophies. Like I said, I think they did it very well. Like, it's very emotional. So, I can see why people didn't like what they did. What happened with Joel dying. But, I don't know. The scene is very powerful and emotional. So, they definitely didn't stuff it up. So, I don't know. I don't mind it. I liked the rest of this game. So, let's continue playing going forward. So, pretty much this is just the aftermath. Tommy coming to speak to Ellie, and then Ellie going to see Joel's grave, and then go to his house to get some of his belongings, because we find out that Tommy is actually run after, or well, not run, but gone halfway across the country because they're going to Seattle to chase after Abby and her crew for what they did to Joel. And Tommy's wife Maria tells us we're allowed to go as well to bring Tommy home and do what we got to do. So yeah, we end up leaving with Ellie and Dina both end up leaving to go to Seattle. So yeah, we arrive first off just outside of Seattle in the nearby forest, and Seattle is where majority of the game takes place, so get ready to be here for quite a long time. But yeah, we end up getting our next trophy right now as well, our third one.
Oh, another superhero card.
Start a set, find 5 trading cards, let's go. That's 5 of them down, heaps more to go I think. That's just another prerequisite trophy, so we're gonna have to find all of them anyway, so let's keep going. So after getting that trophy, we then have to find our way inside of Seattle, as it is blocked by all these massive walls due to, it used to be a quarantine zone. So we get over the wall, make our way through into Seattle, which is where we find out that one of the bases for the WLF is at this the Saravina Hotel, so we have to make our way there to find out more info. But before we can do that, it is blocked by a gate which has no fuel to open it, so we have to go out into this big open area of downtown Seattle, which is very similar to in Uncharted Lost Legacy, the Western Ghats, which they added into that game, which was probably a prototype for the open world in this game, as they're very similar, where you have a map and you mark things down where you need to go explore. So it's very similar to the Western Ghats in Uncharted Lost Legacy, but this time it's a destroyed, broken down old Seattle, which is really cool. And we have to make our way to 2 specific spots to get fuel. Well, the first one you go to doesn't have fuel and the second one does, so you have to go to both. But there's also little areas around that you can explore, and this is actually where we get a few trophies for finding some collectibles, and also there is a trophy for exploring the whole downtown area as well. So our first trophy is actually inside the bank. Ooh, we got an artifact here. Aha!
Cool.
Sic Parvis Magna. Greatness from small beginnings. We know what that means. That is Nathan Drake's ring right there, or Sir Francis Drake's ring. 29th of January, 1596. Sic Parvis Magna. Greatness from small beginning. Yes, that is cool. So great and small. Find the engraved ring. There you go. That's a trophy for finding. That's kind of like the strange artifacts you could find in Uncharted. Well, actually in Uncharted 4 there was the strange pendant, which was a firefly pendant, and now in Last of Us we're finding Uncharted stuff, so that's pretty cool. Another trophy down, let's go. Wow, listen to all those infected, my gosh. You can hear them from outside. Alright, up we go. Ooh, Sightseer. Visit every location in downtown Seattle. Let's go. We got that trophy done. That was... So yeah, we've done after we complete this garage, yeah, we've done everything here and we can leave. Let's go. I know that open area wasn't... I swear that wasn't as big as the Western Ghats in Uncharted Lost Legacy. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as big, or there weren't as many... Well, there weren't as many places to go anyway, so... Still pretty cool though. Nice little open area. So after fully exploring that area, we make our way back to the east gate and put in the fuel and make our way to the Saravina Hotel, where we find everyone is actually already dead, and Tommy is the one who has come through here and has tortured some of them into revealing some information to where Abby and the others could be. So we continue forward and things go bad as we get set up and our horse dies by the horse and we get captured. When Ellie wakes up, we find out that one of the guys here, Jordan, was one of the crew of Abby's, so this makes it even worse as, well, we gotta kill this guy. Dina causes distraction. Luckily, we're able to kill the other guy and then kill Jordan, so that's one crossed off our list, but now we need to make our way out of this elementary school and escape from the WLF. So luckily Ellie and Dina are able to make their way out of the school and away from the WLF out into the streets, and from here they figure out that they need to go to this TV station, as that is where Leah, I think her name is, I don't know, she doesn't really mean much because Spoiler alert, she's already dead when you get there, but that's another one of Abby's crew that we need to go kill or find out info off of, so they make their way towards the TV station. So we actually make our way through this quite big open area around the streets where there's infected and WLF as you explore, and here is actually where we get our 6th trophy of the game. Got a workbench here. I'm gonna fully upgrade the revolver, I think. Reload speed, yep. Damage, yep. Mechanist. Fully upgraded weapon, there we go. Just like in the part 1. We've upgraded the revolver first, but this game we actually need to fully upgrade every weapon, so that's just another prerequisite trophy really, so let's keep going. After that we continue making our way through the streets, killing all the different infected and sneaking past or killing the WLF as well, until we finally have the TV station in our sights. So we make our way towards it and we come across a dead horse, which turns out to be Tommy's, and Dina actually gets quite sick about this, which is actually hinting at something that we will find out sooner rather than later, but not quite yet. But yeah, we continue on towards the TV station where we come across some booby traps, some bombs that have been set up, so we have to dodge past all those without getting blown up. And then yeah, we make our way inside the TV station. So once inside, we actually find out that all the WLF members are already dead, and it definitely wasn't Tommy, as they've been killed quite brutally, so we're not quite sure who's done it yet. But we find Leah and find that she's already dead as well, but we find out some more information on Abby and the rest of her crew, and then we actually get chased by some WLF out of there as they find what has happened, and they find us, so we have to run away, and we make our way down into the underground train station to escape. So whilst down here, we actually fight off some WLF who have come down with gas masks to try and kill us off, but we fend them off by causing some infected to be attracted to them, and they kind of kill each other. So we keep making our way forward, and we actually come across our first new enemy of this game, which are called Shamblers, which are absolute horrific things. Honestly, they're probably not as bad as a bloater, but they're still bloody scary, that's for sure. So we actually fight our way through some of these guys who are so freaky, and their stupid acid spores that they burst out of them. But yeah, we fight our way through some of them and continue deeper into the train station. And this is actually where we get our next trophy.
Yeah. Where the hell do Shamblers come from? I don't fucking know. But they're disgusting.
We just got a trophy for learn all player upgrades in one. Crap, I've lost it now. I actually got rid of it. Anyway, yeah, we got that. Upgrading all in one branch. That's just a prerequisite anyway, so we're gonna have to fully upgrade every branch, so it doesn't really matter too much. So after getting that trophy, we continue further, making our way through the train station where we come across some more infected, which they kind of chase after us, so we have to run away, and this is where Ellie's gas mask breaks, and Dina tries to save her, but then Ellie reveals that she actually is immune, and they end up running out of the train station, just making it in the nick of time. After that, Dina is very tired and can't really continue on, so we go into a nearby theatre where we go inside, and Ellie says that she's immune, and Dina's annoyed that she didn't tell her earlier, even though she did when they were back in Jackson. She just didn't believe her. But then Dina also reveals the reason why she's been sick and why she vomited when she saw Tommy's horse isn't actually because she was like sick of the smell. It's because she's actually pregnant, which Ellie gets quite annoyed at, as she didn't tell her earlier, and now she thinks that she's a burden. So they have a bit of an argument, so Ellie decides to just walk away and make sure there's no one else in the theatre, and so she works her way through, and then eventually turns the power on as well, as there's still a generator working, luckily. And then she goes and finds a guitar backstage at the theatre, starts playing it, which sends us into a flashback 3 years earlier with Joel and Ellie returning back together. So in this flashback, Joel is taking Ellie somewhere for her birthday, actually. It's a surprise. And surprise, surprise, he's taking her to a museum that has dinosaur stuff in it, and also stuff to do with space. And there is actually a trophy here, a miscellaneous trophy, our first one. So for this one, when you first walk into the museum, if you look off to the right, there is a hat on this hat stand here, and you just want to pick that up. And then once you get into the main part where all the dinosaur fossils are, you want to put the hat on 2 or 3 different of the dinosaur heads, as you can see. And then after you've done that, you want to put it on Joel's head, and you will get the trophy.
We can put it on Joel because he's a
Hey,
dinosaur.
Joel,
Ellie.
don't you dare take it off. My birthday, my rules.
There we go. Looks good on you. Put a hat on your companion. Let's go. Our companion is obviously Joel, and yeah, we just had to put the hat on the dinosaur a few times and then put it on Joel's head, and there you go. Easy trophy. That's a miscellaneous one done. Let's go.
After that, they continue their way through the museum, looking at all the different dinosaurs things, and then they get into the space part, have a look around there, and then there's this really cool cutscene where Joel surprises Ellie with her birthday gift, which is to pretend that she's in a rocket launching off. It's actually a really, really good scene. After that, Ellie wants to keep exploring the museum, and so they swim across this other side that's been cut off or blocked off, and Ellie has to go in by herself as Joel boosts her up to get in. And she has a look around. It's very spooky. You think there's going to be infected or something, and then it just ends up being this wild boar for whatever reason.
I'm Peppa Pig.
But then Ellie sees a thing of the fireflies calling them liars, and she starts to piece things together, kind of. Her first hint at what Joel might have said was actually a lie. After that, we then flash back to the present, where Ellie and Dina are now kind of made up and forgiven each other, and Dina has actually been listening on the radio that the wolves have found a lone male trespasser, so they believe that it's Tommy. So Ellie goes out trying to get him, and that is the start of Seattle Day 2. And yeah, pretty much nothing happens for this first bit. You pretty much just make your way through all the way until you find, spoiler alert, it's not Tommy.
What the hell are you doing here?
I think I'd let you do this on your own.
That's right, it's Jesse. He chased after us this whole way just to catch up. And yeah, once you're reunited with him, you get in a bit of a car chase scene where you're chased down by some wolves and some infected. You crash the car in like a lake, and then you swim out there and go back to the theatre to meet back up with Dina. After that happy reunion, we flash back 2 years earlier for another flashback, where this time we start off with Tommy, and he shows us how to snipe far away runners and infected. It's pretty good actually. It's cool using the sniper. And then once you catch back up with Joel down at the lodge, which was seen earlier in the game, and with Joel you go down to get some more strings for the guitar from the music store, but then you end up getting stuck in like this hotel, chased by a bunch of infected, and then there is a bloater boss as well. And then after you've killed that, they find some dead bodies, which turns out to be some teenagers from Jackson that tried to run away. And then Joel and Ellie get into a bit of an argument about the fireflies, and then that's the end of the flashback, and back to present. Back in the present, we find out that Jesse is resting and sleeping, and Dean is still resting as well. But Ellie wants to keep on going, as they now have a lead on where Nora could be, one of Abby's crews, and she is at the hospital. So that is Ellie's next place where she wants to go. So again, in this area, not really much happens. It's just normal Last of Us gameplay stuff, killing off some infected and making your way towards the hospital until there is a point where you get overwhelmed by some infected and end up getting thrown out of a window down into rushing water where the street used to be. It's like a river now. And so you float all the way down that and end up in like the sewers. Once you get out of there, you are into a like park. And you're trying to make your way across it, and things go south very quick. Oh my god. Far out, this game. Ah! And so yeah, a bit of a jump scare there, but this is actually our first introduction to the Scars, which are the ones that did what happened at the TV station earlier. They're like this crazy cult that have reverted back to the old ways of the world, I guess. They don't like using modern stuff. That's why they use bow and arrows. And yeah, they're pretty creepy, but once you introduce them, you fight your way through them, killing them all pretty much as Ellie. And then you find another area where there's more of them, and you kill those ones as well, until eventually you are on your way towards the hospital. So once we're just outside the hospital, we swim into this underneath bit, and we end up killing this poor girl who's just having fun playing stuff on her PS Vita. I think it's meant to be Hotline Miami, which I've never actually played, but that's what I've heard, that's what it's meant to be. But yeah, you just kill her and then sneak your way through into the hospital. Once inside, after killing or sneaking past all the guards, you confront Nora. And you have this like Uncharted style chase where you run after her, and then you eventually corner her, but then you get cornered by the other WLF, so then you end up taking her down into the below levels where there's spores and infected, and so you have to make your way out of there as more WLF come down with gas masks to try and kill you. So you go through them, and then you finally catch up to Nora, who is obviously dying because of the spores or becoming infected, whereas Ellie is completely fine as she's immune, and you end up in a very quite shocking scene. You end up pretty much beating her until she tells you exactly what you want to know, which is where Abby is. So after that, Ellie makes her way back to the theatre, and she reveals to Jesse and Dina that she knows that Abby is at the aquarium, and that's where she wants to go next. And they leave us there at the end of day 2 as we go into a flashback to 2 years earlier again, and this time Ellie is back at the hospital from the first game where everything went down. And so in this flashback we play as Ellie as we walk around the hospital looking for answers as to what happened, and she finds out pretty much off a tape recorder, and she constantly listens to that until Joel arrives as he's been looking for her, and then she confronts him about it, finding out the truth finally because she threatens to run away and he'll never see her again. But because he tells her the truth, she says that she'll stay in Jackson, but she doesn't really want to have anything to do with Joel ever again. And that's kind of, you now understand why she was kind of giving Joel the cold shoulder at the beginning of the game, is because she obviously found out about what happened. And so then it flashes back to the present for Seattle day 3. And so we wake up on the next day, and we head out with Jesse towards the aquarium. And yeah, pretty much nothing really happens here. It's pretty much the same thing. Just make your way through the city, fight your way through some infected as you head towards the aquarium. Ellie and Jesse eventually get to a point where they're at a crossroads where the whole street is flooded, and the only other way is the highway, but there's a bunch of wolves there. Then they spot a boat, so they decide that is their way to get to the aquarium by using the boat. And so once you make your way down towards the boat, just before you're about to go steal it, you hear on the radio that they've found Tommy, pretty much, a sniper, nearby. So Jesse, that's all he wants to do is just go save Tommy. That's why he's here, to save him. Whereas Ellie kind of takes on her revenge and gives into it and wants to go after Abby instead. So Jesse and Ellie end up splitting up, with Jesse going after Tommy and Ellie still trying to steal the boat to make her way towards the aquarium to get Abby. So once you steal the boat as Ellie after killing some wolves, you make your way downstream towards the ocean, the aquarium. We actually get another trophy here on our way there. In the field, find 12 workbenches. There we go. I forgot that was a trophy. We have to find all workbenches anyway, so that's just a prerequisite one again, but cool. Fine, we found 12 workbenches. I thought you had to interact with them for them to count, but I guess just walking near them. Cool, let's keep going. And you have to make your way through some little gates and checkpoints. At one point you have to take down like a Scars base until eventually you get to a stuck gate inside next to an arcade. And here at the arcade, to get it unstuck, you have to go up to the another level, and this is where you actually find a bloater, and we have another bloater boss fight, this time as Ellie in the present day. After defeating the bloater, we continue making our way towards the ocean. When we get to it and we actually get swept up in a big wave, so then we have to swim the rest of the way to the aquarium. We make it there and things go not very well, as Ellie pretty much goes on a killing spree. She kills a dog and then she kills Mel and Owen, and Mel's pregnant, so she freaks out at that. But then Jesse and Tommy show up, and she didn't find anything about where Abby is, but they're content with just leaving now that they've found Tommy. So they go back to the theater. And this is where some things go down. So pretty much they're planning their escape from Seattle, the way out, and Tommy leaves to go get something, and then you hear bang and a crash, and then you go looking, and Abby is there holding Tommy at gunpoint. And Jesse actually gets shot as you're running through the doors, and then Abby is obviously annoyed at Ellie because of what she's done, and then the game puts you on a cliffhanger right then and there, and rewinds all the way back to another flashback, but this time as Abby. So in this flashback, it pretty much introduces you to Abby's backstory, I guess, as she's looking for her dad, who they end up finding each other, and then they end up finding an injured zebra, which they help out, as her dad is a doctor, which then they show a cutscene explaining that he was the main surgeon at the hospital when Ellie was sent there, and so he's the one that Joel killed, and you understand why Abby killed Joel. The game full tricks us and pulls a fast one on us, and we're back at Seattle day 1 all over again. So yep, that's right, we're gonna have to play through Seattle day 1, 2 and 3 all over again, this time as Abby, just to get back to that cliffhanger. So pretty much this first bit, playing as Abby, you walk around the stadium, which is like the Wolves have turned that into their home base, and you're pretty much introduced to their world and pretty much shown how similar it is to Jackson, just like at the start of the game with Ellie, and you meet some of Abby's friends or crew that you know is going to die later on. But the main thing is that you're moving out to the forward base to help out with something based on the leader of the Wolves, Isaac. He wants you there. So the main thing is to get to the car and make your way there with all the supplies. And that on our way there, we get the opportunity to go to the shooting range, which is where we get our next miscellaneous trophy. So for this trophy, all you got to do is just beat Manny in this friendly little competition here on who can get the most points at the shooting range. And yeah, you pretty much just want to aim for the head or the body. And yeah, this miscellaneous trophy is pretty easy. You should be able to beat him quite easily.
You're cruel.
Ooh, you can fold my laundry too.
Let's go, Sharpshooter. Win the marksmanship competition. Let's go. That was pretty easy, actually. Oh look, they've drawn it as like a clicker. Yeah, you pretty much just gotta aim at the head or in the body there to get the most points, and you win. Cool, another miscellaneous trophy done. Straight after that, we actually got another trophy. Thing back here, aha. Mint condition, find 5 coins, let's go. Okay, well that's another prerequisite trophy because we're going to have to find all the coins anyway, but there we go, 2 trophies in a row right after each other, let's go. And so after that, you make your way to the car with Manny and Mel, and you're on your way to the forward operating base when, surprise surprise, you get jumped by some scars or seraphites, and they make you crash your car, and then you have to make your way to the forward operating base on foot, and this is where you have to take out some infected, take out some more scars, until eventually you make it to a gas station where you're surrounded by the Seraphites, but you were saved in the nick of time by some of the other wolves, who then take you to the forward operating base. Once at the forward operating base, we meet up with Nora, another one of Abby's crew, who obviously we know Ellie beats with a pipe later on. But anyway, meet up with her. She reveals that Owen possibly could have killed one of the wolves and has kind of run away. And so Abby, of course, wants to chase after him, as she has quite a relationship with him. A bit complicated, but she still wants to make sure he's safe. But before that, they go and meet up with Isaac, who explains that they're going to be probably attacking the Scars soon, and that he wants Abby on board, but of course she wants to go save Owen, so that's where we go next. But before that happens, we get a quick little flashback kind of explaining Abby and Owen's past, and that they used to be together originally, and this is when they were first getting trained by the wolves, just after they must have left the hospital, and they're at the aquarium exploring it, and this pretty much explains how Abby knew where Owen was going to be, as this is like kind of their little safe house where they always used to go, and so that is why we're headed to the aquarium next as Abby. So we go back to the present, now playing as Abby, as she leaves Manny behind to go towards the aquarium. And this part, you're pretty much just making your way there. And you go through, like, I think it's like the Chinatown of Seattle, where you kill some infected. And here is actually where we get our next trophy. Oh, what's this? Relic of the Sages. Find the strange artifact. There you go. That's just like in Uncharted. That is one of the, I believe it's from Jak and Daxter, another Naughty Dog game. And it's the exact same, like the little egg thing. So we found it in, what, the 4 Uncharted games, and now we've found it in The Last of Us Part 2. So we've found it 5 times. The strange artifact. Cool, another trophy down. There we go. So we've got Nathan Drake's ring and also this egg thing, Jak and Daxter. I don't know, I haven't played Jak and Daxter. Maybe I'll play those games and get the platinum for them eventually as well.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Oh. Far out, you scared the crap out of me.
Asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
And just following that, we actually get ourselves another trophy.
Alright, let's see. We can get increased health now, let's go. Survival training. Learn 25 player upgrades. So we just maxed out that full branch just then, but that is actually our 25th player upgrade. That is another trophy down, but that again is a prerequisite one, as we need to get all the player upgrades anyway. So we've done 25 of them. Maybe that's halfway? I don't know. Alright, well, look, 25 player upgrades and we're 25% total trophy progress. Nice. And I noticed while editing, it also says plus 25% health as the upgrade that we did. My god, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence!
Anyway, we keep making our way forward, and once we get past the Chinatown like checkpoint, there's like a memorial there. Once we get past that, we come across some scars that we have to take out, and then as we think we're in the clear, some more show up and knock Abby out cold, and then we go into another flashback. This time the flashback is again at the aquarium, but it's Christmas time and Abby and Owen are a bit older, and it's revealed that this was just before they went to Jackson, as Abby comes to Owen with the news that she knows where Joel could be, and it's revealed that Owen is now with Mel, and the reason they kind of broke up, Abby and Owen, was that Abby became so obsessed with going after Joel that Owen couldn't deal with it anymore. Anyway, in this section, we are able to get another miscellaneous trophy. So for this one, you want to go up to this leaderboard with like this toy bow and arrow here, and Owen kind of challenges you to a competition where you have to hit as many targets as you can, and the way to get the trophy is by getting the high score, which I'm pretty sure you can tie with Mel and get 10, or you can try and beat her and get 11 or 12. And that's how you unlock the trophy, just by hitting as many targets as you can and getting your name up there on that leaderboard.
I'm down.
$12. Oh damn, we smashed it. Put my name up.
Okay, there's 1,
Earn the high score in the archery game. Let's go. Another miscellaneous trophy done. That was pretty easy, not gonna lie. I think all we had to do was get, yeah, 10, 11, or 12 maybe. Nice, that was good. Alright, let's keep going.
Last.
After that flashback, we then go back to the present, where we find Abby is in a bit of a pickle now, as the Seraphites are about to kill her quite brutally, when, out of nowhere, these two random kids save Abby. And it turns out they're scars as well, so it's interesting that they've turned on their own. These two are actually called Lev and Yara, that's their names, and they're trying to escape from the scars as they're hunting them down too, as they've done something to annoy them. So Abby kind of feel in debt to them because they helped her out. She helps them escape from the park, the forest, away from some infected, and they make their way towards the coast where it's a bit safer, and they come across another Seraphite, the one that helped knock out Abby earlier, and she has Abby's stuff, so Abby fights her to get her stuff back, and then they continue forward to try and find a safe place where they can stay, as Yara has actually hurt her arm. That's what happened. They clipped her wings, as the Seraphite said, or they broke her arm pretty much. So they have to find somewhere for her to rest, and they eventually make it to this like site where there's these little, I don't know, what do you call them? I don't know. They're like these little house caravan things, and yeah, they are able to hold down the fort there. Well, actually, I lie, because Abby leaves straight away and gives them some advice on how to survive the next day, but she just leaves them straight away as she's still on her mission to get to Owen. So then, yeah, you pretty much play as Abby on your way to the aquarium. You come across a few infected and whatnot, and along the way is actually where we get our next trophy, our 15th one.
Let's get this one. So we can craft hunting ammo. Tools of the trade. Craft every item. There you go. We've done that one. I knew eventually I would get that trophy because, like in the first game, you pretty much craft everything, so yeah. Well, you'd have to get the upgrades, obviously, to get some of them, but player upgrades, like that one for the hunter ammo. But yeah, now we've crafted every single item in the game. Cool. Another trophy down. Let's keep going. And after that trophy, again, we continue making our way towards the aquarium, and we come across a deserted boat on the shore, which we make our way through. It's got a lot of infected, and here is actually where we get another trophy. Alright, what was it? It was 90, 70, 90, 77, and 1. There we go. Ooh. Training manual. Identify, counter, and destroy. Journeyman! Find all training manuals. Let's go! So that means we can, yeah, well, that was technically a prerequisite as well, because we need to get all player upgrades, and to get all player upgrades you need to find all training manuals to unlock the upgrade branch. But yeah, we found all of them, I guess, for Ellie and Abby, so that's good. We are now 30% of the way through all the trophies. That was a silver one. Alright, let's keep going. Once off that boat, we're pretty much at the aquarium. We break in as Owen's not answering the door for some reason. Then we find him on the boat in the little arena that was there. And Abby and Owen kind of have their own fun time, like what Ellie and Dina had earlier in the game. But anyway, after that, Abby has a nightmare where she's back at the hospital, but instead of seeing her dad dead, she finds Yara and Lev dead, and so she feels guilty about that. So that takes us into Seattle Day 2, where she is going to try and find them and to protect them so they don't die. So Abby fights her way through some scars to get back to them, and she finds them there,
and sees that Yara's in a bad state, so she takes her back to the aquarium, and it turns out Mel is there now, and she's actually a doctor and like kind of a surgeon because she was training under Abby's dad, so she knows how to fix Yara's arm, which is actually by cutting it off. So she says that she needs supplies for that though, so then sends Lev and Abby on their way to the hospital to get some more supplies. And to get there quick enough in time so they can get back to Yara afterwards, they have to cross across the flooded city, or like the rivers that are kind of along the streets now. They have to cross across that to get to a building, which then takes them up, so they then can go across a sky bridge, a crane that has fallen in between the buildings that the Scars use as a bridge now. So it's really high up, and Abby's scared of heights, of course, so you have to go that way. And as you're going along the bridge, you accidentally fall off, and luckily, by absolute pure luck, they fall into a pool that is up really high on the building, I guess, and that manages to save Abby and Lev, but they have to make their way down the building now to get to the hospital. But once we get out of the pool is actually where we get our next trophy. 1A. 79, there we go. I remembered.
Got it.
Safecracker! Unlock every safe. Let's go. That's all the safes in the game done. Wow, okay. Well, just like the first game, I guess you get most of them done fairly soon. I don't know, I feel like we've still got a bit to go, so done all the safes anyway, so cool. That's another silver trophy. Safecracker, let's keep going. So making their way down the building is harder than they thought, as there's heaps of infected, and I mean absolutely heaps. Shamblers, clickers, stalkers, runners, everything, you name it. But luckily once they get down to the bottom, it's revealed that they are right next to the hospital. However, there's a lot of wolves there, so Abby has to sneak in and leave Lev behind, and this is where Abby meets up with Nora after the wolves realize she's done a runner, but luckily after a couple of hours Nora comes and helps her, and then shows her exactly where she needs to go to find the supplies. Of course, the supplies are in the lower level of the basement, as everywhere else has been blocked off, so that's the only way to go to maybe find the supplies. So we go down there. There's quite a few infected. Everything's like, there's all fungus everywhere. It's really overgrown, spores everywhere. So you know something's going to go down, so you turn the power back on to get through the doors to get to the ambulance to try and find if there's any supplies in there. And once you get the supplies in the ambulance, this massive thing shows up. I'll just play it for you. Oh my. What the hell is that thing? What is that? Holy crap. Yes, my friends, that is indeed the Rat King, the most vile and worst of all the infected, this massive thing that's been growing there since day one of the outbreak. But yeah, obviously you hightail it out of there pretty quick, but then it eventually catches up to you, almost killing Abby, but then the floor falls through, and then you end up having to have a boss fight against this massive thing, and once you get it down to a low enough health, or hit it enough times, a stalker part breaks off of it, so then there's two of them. Luckily, Abby is able to kill the big one, and then you chase after the smaller one, kill that one too, and somehow you manage to make your way out of that situation, which is just absolutely insane. One of the best parts of the game, for sure. So after escaping that situation, you then meet back up with Lev, and you use a boat to get back to the aquarium, where you give the supplies to Mel, and she performs a surgery to remove Yara's arm, but it saves her life, so it's all good in the end. And then
Abby has a dream this time, and when she goes into the hospital, her dad is standing there happy and waiting for her, so she's kind of redeemed herself, I guess, by helping these kids out. But then when she wakes up, it's revealed that Lev is nowhere to be seen, and Yara's worried about him. So they go looking for him, and then it turns out that he's run away back to the Scars Island, as their mother is still there, and he feels bad that he left her and shaved his head, and he still wants to protect his mum, even though Yara knows that their mum would hate him now for what he's done. So they have to chase after him, but they don't have a boat anymore because that's the one that Lev took, so they have to go to the marina, the harbour, to try and get another boat. And on the way there, once they get there, she goes by herself to keep Yara safe, and she meets back up with Manny, and it turns out his whole squad has been killed by this one singular sniper, which is still sniping at him and Abby. So they slowly make their way up towards the sniper. Manny unfortunately ends up getting shot in the head, and right in front of Abby's face, and it's revealed that the sniper is indeed Tommy. So Abby and Tommy have a bit of a scuffle, but she manages, with Yara's help, who obviously was following her, push him off the edge into the water, and then she forgets about it because all she cares about is Lev now. So with Yara, they both get on a boat to travel after Lev to get to the island. So once they arrive on the islands, they have to sneak through some Scar camps, and they realize that the wolves are about to invade, and you can see them coming in on the boats. So they continue their way to where Lev and Yara's mum is, in the little village they're in. And once they sneak in there, they find that the mum is dead. Lev had to kill her, and he's just been waiting there, kind of scared. So you get him going as you need to escape, as there's about to be all-out war on the island. So as you're escaping, we actually got another trophy. We got a coin back here. Numismatist. Find all coins. In the trophy breakdown, I actually butchered that. I said numismatist. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's numismatist. Numismatist. That must be something to do with coin. Anyway, that's all coins done. Wow. That's one collectible down. So yeah, that's good. Alright, let's keep going then. One collectible down. I am very dumb because at this point I actually already did the safes, which is technically a collectible. Anyway, we continue on until we actually get confronted by Isaac himself, who then pretty much threatens to kill Yara. She causes a distraction for us by actually killing Isaac, and then she dies, unfortunately, but it gives Abby and Lev time to run away, and so they have to run away. They find a horse so they can go on horseback to where the docks are to get a new boat. Everything's on fire around them. Abby has a mini boss fight with one of these big massive scar dudes, and she gives him quite a few scars now, some new scars. Anyway, they get on the boat and go back to the aquarium, and this is revealed, as you would know by now, that Owen and Mel are dead, because obviously what happened with Ellie in her day 1, 2 and 3. And so Abby is quite annoyed and sad. So she finds the map that Ellie just happened to leave behind, which tells her exactly where the base is, the theater. So Abby and Lev make their way towards the theater to exact revenge on Ellie. And so this time you can see what happens from Abby's point of view. So she confronts Tommy, kills Jesse obviously as he comes in, and then you end up having a bit of a boss fight with Ellie as she manages to escape. You have to try and shoot her. She runs away. You go backstage and have this an actual boss fight against her where you're trying to kill Ellie, which is crazy because she's the main character pretty much from the first and second game. You're trying to kill her. So they have a pretty good fight. Abby's doing pretty well, and then Dina comes in. Abby wrecks her as well, and then is about to kill her. Ellie pleads with Abby not to kill her, and then she's about to, but then Lev reminds her not to, so she stops the cycle of revenge and lets Ellie and Dina live, but they're quite beaten up, and that is where it cuts to black until we are brought into the future, where it seems that Ellie and Dina are now living on a farm with a baby. Dina and Jesse's baby, in fact. So this part of the game slows down quite a bit, as it's quite a lot of story related stuff. So pretty much Ellie and Dina seem to be having a good life with the baby, living on a farm, herding sheep and whatnot, having a good life. But then it's revealed that Ellie's still having flashbacks and PTSD of Joel dying, and she can't really get over the fact of what happened to him. So it's showing that on another day, Tommy arrives and he's all injured and stuff, and pretty much calls Ellie a coward for not chasing after Abby, because he's still annoyed about what happened to Joel and angry, and he can't do it now though because he's injured, which kind of puts the idea in Ellie's mind. So then it's shown on another night, a flashback to back in Jackson, what happened the night before Joel died, which is when they were at the party, and Dina and Ellie kissed for the first time, and then Joel stood up for them, but Ellie was still pretty annoyed at him, and so you think that she never had a chance to forgive him, and so then she decides that she wants to go after Abby one more time. Dina pleads with her not to, as she is going to leave if she does, and Ellie she has to go do it. So she leaves for Santa Barbara to chase after Abby and Lev. We are then clickbaited into thinking Ellie's already there, but then it just turns out that Lev is now wearing Converse and jeans just like Ellie, and she's with Abby in Santa Barbara, and they're looking for the Fireflies. So they look around the nearby houses, looking for any clues, and in one of the houses they find a secret basement with a radio where they are able to make contact with the Fireflies, and they tell them where they are on an island off the coast. So as they're leaving the house, however, they go out through the garage and they get absolutely wrecked by these guys called the Rattlers. I'll just show you the clip. Yep, that dude absolutely knocked the hell out of Lev. He rocked him so hard. A little kid, this big massive dude oh my god, it's so funny. Bad at the same time. Anyway, they get captured by these Rattlers, and then it isn't really revealed what's happened to them, because we cut back to Ellie, who has found the boat that they were staying in, Abby and Lev, and so she follows their tracks and works her way towards where the Rattlers are. Well, she doesn't know that at this stage, but she's working her way towards where they might have gone. On the way there, Ellie fights through this abandoned mansion with 2 shamblers in there, which is quite fun. And then she comes to a cliffside and she can see off in the distance where she needs to go, but she needs to go down the hill first. So she goes down, and then she ends up getting caught in one of the Rattlers' traps. They then show up later on and try to enslave her like they did with Abby, but luckily there's a clicker nearby that has also been caught in a trap, and Ellie thinks quick on her feet as the guy tries to make the clicker bite Ellie, but of course she's immune, so she doesn't care, gets as close as she wants, and then manages to get the other guy bitten, takes his gun, shoots the big guy that rocked Lev before, and tortures or threatens him to reveal where Abby is. He does. She then kills him, and here is actually where we get our next trophy. Ooh, high caliber. Find all weapons. Oh, so we got a new weapon, eh? I think that must be the assault rifle that she just used to kill that guy. God, those guys were so dumb. They just let her... she just made the guy get bitten and then the other guy shot him in the leg. Wow. Alright, anyway, that's all the weapons done, which is kind of a prerequisite anyway, because we need to upgrade all the weapons to their max, so we needed to do this one anyway, so anyway, let's keep going. We're almost at the end, I think. I'm going to quickly speed run through this bit, as I know this video is getting long, and I don't want it to be too long, but nothing really happens here. It's just a gauntlet of enemies, really, where you just have to take out all these different rattlers, but along the way to the base where they're keeping Abby, we do get quite a few trophies as we are near the end of the game by now, so let's get to them. Prepared for the worst. Find all workbenches. Let's go. Just like the one in the first game, it's got the exact same name as I mentioned in the breakdown. Yeah, find all workbenches. It's a gold trophy. I'm pretty sure it's just a silver in the first game, so that's cool. All the workbenches. That's a collectible down. We're almost done, I think, so only a few more to go. Let's go. There. Oh, we got a trade master set. Find all trading cards. Let's go. I knew it. Okay, that's another collectible down. Another gold trophy. Let's go. Find all trading cards done as Ellie. Cool. That's workbenches and trading cards. Just, I think, artifacts to go now. So let's go. Oh, got an artifact here. Jenny.
Okay, Jenny.
Archivist. Archivist? I don't know. Find all artifacts and journal entries. Let's go. Woof. I'm pretty sure that is all collectibles done. Another gold trophy. Let's go. Don't have to worry. Look at that. 70% progress. Don't have to worry about any more collectibles in this game. That is so darn good. Let's go. Now we just got to finish the game and we're pretty much done. Almost at the platinum. Let's keep going. Alright, so pretty much the rest of the game, you get to where the prisoner's being held, you free them, turns out Abby's not with them, instead she's at the pillars, which are like on the beach, which is where they string people up and she's pretty much gonna die, her and Lever there, but Ellie cuts her down and saves her kind of thing, but then she realizes what she came there for, so she threatens to kill Lev unless Abby fights her, and so they get into a fight. So this time you're playing as Ellie, trying to kill Abby once and for all. You're pretty much winning the entire time as you have a knife and stab Abby a bunch, and then she does kind of get the upper hand as she bites off two of Ellie's fingers, which isn't very good, but Ellie manages to get the upper hand again because Abby's so weak after... I mean, you can see how skinny she is after being enslaved by the rattlers. So she overpowers her, almost is about to drown her, but she doesn't, as she has a quick flashback to Joel where he's smiling and waiting for her instead of normally seeing him dead. And so she realizes that she also must end the cycle of revenge as well. So she lets Abby and Lev go, and the game ends there. Just joking, the game doesn't end there, as it has to hit you in the feels one more time as Ellie is back at the farm where she was with Dina, and it's revealed that Dina and the baby are long gone by now, but Ellie does find all her stuff still there and the guitar, Joel's guitar, still there, and she goes to play it and she can't play it properly due to two of her fingers being bitten off by Abby, so it's kind of bittersweet as she didn't even get her revenge in the end, and instead lost even more. Like, the one thing she has to remember of Joel, guitar, she can't even play it. But we do finally get the flashback to what happened later on in that night after the party when Ellie got annoyed at Joel, and the day before he obviously died. And she didn't forgive him, but she said she was going to try to. So it's kind of revealed that she's happy to have had that little bit of time to start trying to forgive Joel, and that's how the game ends. She just leaves the guitar there, leaves everything behind, and just walks away from the house. And that is the story of The Last of Us Part 2. Of course, we also get our trophy for beating the game. New Game Plus unlocked. Okay, we're going to need that for all the upgrades and equipment obtained from complete. Yep, so we need to obviously get all player upgrades and upgrade all the weapons. And then we're also going for the 100%, so we're doing grounded, permadeath as well. Let's see, do we get the trophy? What I had to do. Complete the story. Wow. And it's a gold trophy too. Of course. What a story, that was fantastic. That was so good. So after completing the game and getting that trophy, we are now technically on to step 2 and the final step of the Platinum and 100% journey, which is to start a New Game Plus on the grounded difficulty with a permadeath setting on, as we are aiming to, with New Game Plus, we can get all the weapon upgrades and player upgrades to get the Platinum, and then the final 2 trophies are for beating the game on grounded and beating the game on a permadeath setting. And that's it, we'll have the 100%. So I started off by selecting grounded plus, obviously, for the difficulty, New Game Plus, and then the grounded, and then a permadeath setting, I just went per chapter, as that is the easiest one and saves you the most time instead of having to play through the whole game again, all the different acts / days. So definitely choose that one, especially because I was playing on the hardest difficulty. But yeah, once I did that, all I had to do was just play through the game again. I just skipped all the cutscenes, and I'll make sure that you are also looting everywhere to try and get as many supplements and material parts as possible, so you can get those weapon upgrades and player upgrades as soon as possible. Also, another thing to note is if you are going to be going for the 100%, make sure you get all the listen mode upgrades on your first playthrough. That's very important, because when you do grounded playthrough, you actually can't upgrade any of the listen mode ones, as it's not available in grounded, as it makes it a bit harder without pretty much having a cheat system listening in on enemies through walls. So they don't allow that on grounded, so you can't upgrade it. So make sure if you're going for all player upgrades, make sure you do it all on your first playthrough, not on your grounded one. Weapons is fine, you can do all those. And yeah, make sure you want to get that as done as possible, as soon as possible, and then you'll get the Platinum, and then you'll just be able to play through the rest of the game. So on this first few bits, I actually kind of struggled, as grounded is quite difficult, and permadeath makes it even worse, because every time you die, you lose about half an hour of progress, so it's very annoying if you keep dying over and over again. So I was struggling in this first bit in Jackson, so I did, once I got to Seattle, I did end up changing it to make it a bit easier on myself. So what I did is I went into the accessibility options, and there's a few things in here that actually make the game easier without actually using like the cheats or gameplay modifiers in the game, because well, you can't actually use those until you beat the game on grounded anyway. But these you can use at any time, so lock on aim, auto weapon swap if your weapon's out of ammo, also infinite breath as well, and then you want to turn on all of the combat accessibility options as well. And the cheesiest one, invisible while prone, you want that on unlimited. This pretty much lets you stay in prone and the enemies can't see you while you're in prone. It makes sneaking past enemies so much easier, and you can pretty much get through every situation in the game by using stealth. There are a few sections where you're forced into combat, like the Rat King boss fight and some other boss fights, so it's still pretty hard. It doesn't make the game a complete breeze, but all the ones where you can stealth, it makes it a lot easier. You can literally prone right past enemies, which I did a few times. But yeah, so I made my way through the game, kind of cheesing it. Hope you don't mind.
Boring!
But yeah, I breezed through to the Abbey part of the game, and this is actually where we got our next trophy. Fully upgraded everything. Except, oh, this is our final upgrade. We should get a trophy here. Perfect. Arms Master. Fully upgrade all weapons. Let's go. Gold trophy down. So now we're just one trophy away from the platinum. We just need to get all player upgrades and then that'll be the platinum. And then obviously we just need to finish off this playthrough and we'll get the 100% as well. Hopefully I've done all the player upgrades though. If not, that means I am going to have to go back and do another playthrough, but we'll see what happens. Let's keep going. So yeah, after getting all the weapon upgrades, I knew I was almost done with the game. I was a bit worried about the player upgrades because I couldn't remember if I had done all the listen mode ones. So I was waiting patiently to see if I got that one. And I actually didn't get that trophy until just after beating the Rat King, which was probably the hardest part in the game, as I couldn't sneak past that one. So that was very difficult, that boss fight. And yeah, after completing that, it was pretty cool because at the same time I got the platinum, so it was like it's synced together very well, completing the hardest thing in the game and also getting the platinum. Alright, no one is going to believe that. Oh my god. Yes. Thank you. That should be enough. Let's see. Moment of truth. Will we get the trophy? Yes! Survival Expert. Learn all player upgrades. Yes. Okay. I did do it. I wasn't sure if I did all of them, but I did. Let's go. Thank God for that. Make sure you do the listen mode ones in the first playthrough if you are going to do a grounded playthrough on your second one, because can't upgrade them. Luckily I must have, so whew, lucky I did that. That's good though. That means, wait, is that the, I think that's the platinum. Wait, hold up. Every last one of them. Collect all trophies. Let's go. I forgot that was the platinum. Oh my god. I need to be more hyped for that. We just beat the Rat King and its little stalker thing splitting off from it, and then we get that upgrade all our things with the supplements, and I had no words. Platinum. Let's go. What a great way to get it after beating the Rat King. Let's go. I completely forgot. There we go, we got the platinum for Last of Us Part 2. Now we just gotta finish off the game and get 100%. That's all we gotta do now, just finish the game. Let's go. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy. So yeah, as you can tell, I was pretty happy with that, getting the platinum. And yeah, like I said, all I had to do was finish off the game, so I just speed ran through the rest of it until we got to the end, which is where we got our next true trophies for the 100%, baby! Difficulty. And so we should quit to menu, and we should get our trophies popping. Dig 2 graves, complete the story on Grounded, nice. And you can't stop this. Complete the story with any permadeath setting. Now, as you can see, congratulations, completed the story on permadeath, difficulty Grounded plus per chapter. Completion time, 17 hours and 46 minutes. Time lost to deaths, 8 hours and 8 minutes. Killed 56 times, damn. So, I could have, if I hadn't have died at all, I could have got it done in 9 hours, but pretty much doubled the amount of time. Just because I died, that's an L. But yeah, as you can see, total trophy progress 100%. So that is the 100% done and dusted. We got the platinum and 100%. That means Last of Us Part 2 is finished. Let's go.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Alright, so my final thoughts for this game. So in terms of just playing it, honestly, for me personally, I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. I understand lots of people didn't like the direction they took with this game, especially with the story. I think the gameplay is fantastic. I played part 1, so the remake, so that combat was pretty much the same as this one, but compared to the first game, I guess, the gameplay is so much better in this game, so that's a plus, and the graphics as well for a PS4 game. It looks seriously so good, even though I am playing it on a PS5, it still looks amazing. But yeah, the story, honestly, I didn't mind it. I feel like it makes sense in the world, and they did these things on purpose to make people, like, they probably knew people were going to react that way, but it is quite realistic what happens, so I think the story is pretty good. You don't have to agree with me, but I'd say give it a chance before you just bash on it. But yeah, I would honestly have to give it a 10 out of 10. I had lots of fun with it. Honestly, just as good as the first game. Maybe even better. I don't know. It depends. They're both different stories. Depends how I'm feeling, I guess. But I think this is definitely on par with the first game. So I'll give it a 10 out of 10. So I actually gave the first game a 10 out of 10 for the Platinum. So I feel like I'm kind of obligated to give this game a 10 out of 10, but I'm not going to, because it is very similar. However, the one thing that lets this game down is the fact that you do have to go back for a New Game Plus playthrough due to having to upgrade literally everything, whereas in the first game you didn't have to worry about that. Obviously, you still had to do all the collectibles and whatnot, which can be quite annoying, but I just used a guide, which made it easier on my first attempt to get everything, so I would recommend that. Or I guess you could play through the whole game, trying to find everything yourself, and then go back and do it in chapter select, up to you. But yeah, the one thing holding back this game would definitely be the fact that you have to go for a New Game Plus playthrough, no matter what, for the Platinum. And you have to play through more than half of the game, because you have to get to Abby's part to get her upgrades, and of course you don't play as her until you've finished half the game. So for the Platinum wise, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10, just because it's fairly similar to the first game. It's just that one thing lets it down. Now, this game also has 100% unlike the first game due to the 2 DLC trophies. So for the 100%, I'm also going to give it a 9 out of 10 because, like what I did, you can kind of combine it with your Platinum journey. So the Platinum journey, you have to do a New Game Plus playthrough anyway. 100%, you don't have to, well no, you do have to do it, sorry, because you have to get, well, if you want 100%, you also have to get the Platinum, so you still have to play through the game and then do a New Game Plus playthrough for those upgrades. But like I did, you can pair it with the Grounded and the permadeath settings on that New Game Plus, which makes those settings actually easier, because New Game Plus you keep all your upgrades, so it's not as hard, I guess. So yeah, the 100%, probably give a 9 out of 10 as well, as you really just, it's not too bad, the difficulty, especially if you use the accessibility options like I did. It makes it quite cheesy to do. You could do it legit, and props to you if you do. You probably can. It's not super hard, especially if you know what you're doing. So yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10 to combine it with the Platinum as well. But yeah, that does it with The Last of Us Part 2. Finally got it done, Part 1 and Part 2. It's taken me a while to do this whole Let's Play thing and then edit these videos as well, showing the summary of the Platinum. I know this video is a bit long, sorry about that. I just tried to fit everything in and, finish this series off. So I finished off Last of Us, don't have to worry about it anymore. And we're going to be moving on to bigger and better things soon. That's right. By bigger and better things soon, I mean next video will be on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, followed by the next video, which will be on the sequel that has just come out recently, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So I'm going to be going back to doing what I was doing, which is just purely the Platinum videos, no more Let's Plays. I know not many of you probably want to see the Let's Plays, not many people watched them, so it was just an experiment just to see how they go, and I can see that you guys definitely would just prefer the Platinum videos, which I think for me as well is probably better. I don't have to worry about recording a whole Let's Play, so it should be good. I've actually already Platinumed Fallen Order, so I've just got to edit that video and get it out, and I'm currently working on Survivor. I've been playing it since it came out. So get hyped for those 2 games, as they're pretty good Platinum experiences. I can't wait to drop those videos, and yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're going to get those done, and we're going to start going back to the normal schedule, doing those platinum type of videos. So I hope you're ready for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate it, especially if you've made it this far. If you have made it this far, make sure to comment down below. May the Force be with you as we get ready for the new two Star Wars games that I will be dropping the platinum videos for soon. So I'm pretty excited for that, to get back to the normal schedule. Hopefully they'll be shorter videos as well. I'm going to try and make them shorter. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys all in the next one.